Well, in the last video, I kind of cut out the little blanks for the sitting yoga bears out of the cherry. When I recorded the last video in the original, I kind of said at the end, after the part where you saw me about to take off the glasses, that I was going to come back on and do the walnut ones. But that part had to be cut out of the video for a lot of reasons. That video had to be edited and cut a little shorter by a few seconds because a little embarrassing blunder took place at the end of it because I forgot I was on camera. But we won't get into that. We will just go ahead now and work on the little walnut pieces of teddy bear. As for this one, you can see it's kind of big, so we're going to cut it out some of the same ways we did the others here. Well, I'll tell you all, I kind of did a little interesting little cut here. Kind of decided to go along the front here first. Came out with a little interesting piece here. This might be a good piece to make something like a chickadee, maybe, or a little interesting type of bird. Well, I'll tell you, there was a little line in there. I just had to cut that out. Think this time around I'm going to go along the nose and the ear. I just got the top of the head and the front of the ear cut out. I'm going to go along the back of the head and towards the butt now. I'll tell you that we've come along another way, but this time around we're going to kind of do it from the other side, the other angle here. So you're going to see what these two will look like together. So I will kind of come to say that there's a couple of interesting pieces I came out with here. I can't remember where I laid the other one I just came out with, but it was probably about the same shape as this one. If I find the other, I might tell you a little bit more about what kind of interesting things can be made out of those scraps. But let's get back to our focus, which is mainly on cutting the bear out right now. Well, we finally got along that line, but there's going to be a little bit more work to do to try to cut out the nose and the feet and the arms. Now I got a little more work to come along here, along the little places where there's a place we need to cut in for the toes and for the arms again. As for how the work's come along, we've gotten it out very well, and we're kind of getting it together here. We don't know how it's all going to turn out in the end, but I will say these pieces, they're probably a little bit out of shape with each other, but we can go back and take care of that another time. Well, little work has come along. I finally got the top of the head and the back of the ear done here. Well, I've gotten a little further along here, gotten the front carved out. Now I need to do the little place for the tail in the back. You may note of all things that not all scraps come out the same. There was probably a scrap here that came out with a bigger place at the end than this one did for its size, but we know that these are probably going to be good scraps to last us in the long run, and we'll find things to make out of them. And this is how I finally got this little bear to come out. And we've got one more to cut out, and hopefully then we can be done for the night. Well, I tell you, sometimes the way a piece of wood can smell can sometimes depend on where it grows or what it grows close to on the tree. This one, as I was sawing it, the little blade kind of made a little smell when it cut and came out like the smell of cow do. So, no telling what it was probably growing close to. Got a lot of interesting little things to come out of this. This little piece of scrap came out about the same way this one did. Maybe where I've kind of made two big cherry whales, I might end up cutting these down to a shape where I can make them into two little walnut whales. There's a lot of interesting ways shapes have come out, and a lot of interesting things you're going to see me do with the scraps over time. And no telling what any of these scraps can become. I can already see in my mind some little creature that can come out of this one. Don't know what it's going to be just yet, but that can probably be a thing to be found out. A lot of cool stuff comes out of this, you know. That's why I work like I do, you know, and I'd say there's probably going to be a little more to say, a little more to share coming on down the line. And it is coming to the point where I'm learning a little bit more about business as I go. I just kind of discovered a little bit more today, a little more I need to find out. Probably don't need to be taking off this apron just yet, or might make that same little blunder I did in the last video. But that's all I wanted to say for the evening. And my hair's all a mess, so got to put the cap back on. But just wanted to say that I do see a little something here that's probably going to come out a certain way here or there. Probably going to come out a certain way at some time. The pieces as they join together, there's probably going to be a way to make them come out neat and straight and come out like they're supposed to be. Come out to look the way they're supposed to look. So we're taking it on a little step at a time, a little further at a time, all down the line, all the way we go. So that's all to be said tonight. And all I ask is that you take care for the evening.